The life of Daniel. Faith in a foreign land. More than 2,600 years ago, a young Jewish boy named Daniel was taken from his home and forced into a foreign empire. Though he would lose his homeland, his freedom, and much of the life he once knew, he would never lose his faith in God. His story is one of courage, wisdom, and unwavering devotion during some of the most dramatic events in biblical history. Daniel lived during the final years of the Kingdom of Judah. Around 605 BC, King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon invaded Jerusalem. The Babylonians conquered the city and carried away many of its most promising young men into captivity. Among them was Daniel. Daniel was likely a teenager when he arrived in Babylon. He found himself hundreds of miles from home in the capital of the most powerful empire on earth. Babylon was filled with magnificent temples, towering walls, and idols dedicated to false gods. The Babylonian king intended to train Daniel and other captives to serve in his government. Daniel and three of his companions, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, were given new Babylonian names. Daniel became Belteshazzar. His friends became Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. The Babylonians hoped these young men would forget their heritage and adopt Babylonian culture. But Daniel remained faithful to God. One of Daniel's first tests came when he was offered food and wine from the king's table. Some of these foods violated the dietary laws God had given to Israel. Daniel respectfully asked permission to eat only vegetables and drink water. The officials feared Daniel would become weak and unhealthy. Daniel proposed a 10-day test. At the end of the test, Daniel and his friends appeared healthier than the others who had eaten the king's food. God blessed their faithfulness, and they were allowed to continue their special diet. As the years passed, God gave Daniel wisdom and understanding beyond that of other men. He became known for his ability to interpret dreams and visions. One night, King Nebuchadnezzar had a troubling dream. The dream disturbed him so much that he demanded his wise men tell him both the dream and its meaning. None could do so. Furious, the king ordered all the wise men of Babylon to be executed. Daniel learned of the decree and immediately turned to prayer. During the night, God revealed the mystery to him. Daniel appeared before the king and explained the dream. Nebuchadnezzar had seen a giant statue with a head of gold, chest of silver, belly of bronze, legs of iron, and feet partly of iron and clay. A stone struck the statue and shattered it. Daniel explained that the statue represented a succession of kingdoms. Babylon was the head of gold. Other kingdoms would follow, but ultimately God's kingdom would endure forever. The king was astonished. He recognized that Daniel's God had revealed what no human could know. Daniel was promoted to a position of great authority within Babylon. Years later, Daniel witnessed another remarkable event. King Nebuchadnezzar became proud of his achievements and power. God warned him through another dream, which Daniel interpreted. Daniel urged the king to humble himself and repent. Nebuchadnezzar ignored the warning. As he boasted about Babylon's greatness, God judged him. The king lost his sanity and lived like a wild animal for a period of time. Only after he humbled himself before God was his kingdom restored. Daniel remained a trusted advisor through these extraordinary events. After Nebuchadnezzar's reign ended, Babylon eventually fell to the Medes and Persians. Daniel continued serving under the new rulers. By this time, he was an elderly man, yet his reputation for wisdom and integrity remained unmatched. One of the most famous moments of Daniel's life occurred during the reign of King Darius. Daniel's excellence in government service caused jealousy among other officials. They searched for wrongdoing, but found none. Unable to accuse him of corruption, they targeted his faith. The officials persuaded Darius to sign a law stating that for 30 days, no one could pray to any god or man except the king. Anyone who disobeyed would be thrown into a den of lions. Daniel knew the law had been signed, yet he did not hide. 3 times each day, he opened his window toward Jerusalem and prayed just as he always had. The officials caught Daniel praying and reported him to the king. Darius respected Daniel and desperately tried to save him, but the law could not be changed. With great sorrow, the king ordered Daniel to be thrown into the lion's den. That night, Daniel was lowered into a pit filled with hungry lions. A stone sealed the entrance. The king spent the night fasting and unable to sleep. At dawn, Darius rushed to the den and cried out, "Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God been able to rescue you from the lions?" From inside the den came Daniel's voice. "My God sent his angel and shut the lions' mouths." Daniel emerged completely unharmed. Not a single injury was found on him because he had trusted in God. The king rejoiced and issued a decree honoring the God of Daniel throughout the empire. Daniel's story did not end there. Throughout his later years, God gave Daniel extraordinary visions concerning future kingdoms, world events, and the coming of the Messiah. More than 2,000 years later, the story of Daniel continues to inspire believers around the world. His courage, wisdom, and unwavering commitment to God remain a powerful example of faith in the face of adversity.